Morbius chair right now. I am drunk with power. And that is not a segue for anything we're going to talk about today. We are streaming on YouTube. Let me just check Twitch. We are streaming on Twitch. Aurum is in the chat. Hello, Aurum. I am drunk with power. Yeah. Let's sausage roll. Has everyone got the seatbelts on?
Get my seatbelt on. Click. Okay.
Clunk click every trip. Oh, good. Yeah. Hello and welcome to Let's Chat Comics. Now, do not adjust your television set. Fuck. Television shit.
Wow.
The shit bit came later. Yes. Hello and welcome to Let's Chat Comics. Now, please don't adjust your television sets, for I am not GOLDMANvision and I am not Nick Goldman. Nick's taken a much-needed rest from hosting the show for a little while, so I've courageously offered to step in. I'm sorry, please don't leave. No, it's a good show. So let me introduce you to our esteemed panel. Firstly, we have none other than the Jay-Z of Let's Chat, Battle Block freestyler and anti-Superman advocate, Jake Lionheart himself. How are you doing tonight, Jake?
I was doing good until you referred to me as Jay-Z, but I'll let that slide. I don't endorse title at all, so doing good though.
Originally, the original version was going to be Kanye, but I thought you might appreciate Jay-Z a little bit more.
No, Kanye would have been good because then I'd be like God King Doom, and I could overthrow your mad power, hunger throne, and kind of banish you like Doctor Strange. So
I would.
If Jake's Jay-Z, that means I'm Biggie.
Shut up! I haven't introduced you yet. just for that, we're also joined by Erik.
Hi, I'm Hardy for Hardy.
Hey.
And before we start the show, I think we should just plug this T-shirt. On Jake's TeePublic store, which I don't know the link to, Jake will though, he is selling a Hardy for Hardy T-shirt. You can show your love and fandom of amazing Oscar caliber actor
Or hate.
Tom Hardy. We know Erik is a massive fan of Tom Hardy, so is Jake. And if you want to go and get one of these T-shirts, check out Jake's TeePublic store. Jake, what's the link for that?
Yeah, it's tpublic.com/user/El Cheapo Nerd. I don't know why there's a user in it, but that's the only way you can get to it. And yeah, you can get that shirt in any color. And you can also get, I've got my El Cheapo logo, so you can even get that there.
That's a very nice T-shirt.
Yeah, and actually, they actually are really nice. I was kind of scared they'd be all sketchy, but they're actually like legit T-shirts. So
nice.
Help me continue to buy comics, everybody. So we'll go for T-shirts.
Well, Jake needs to pay his rent and his internet bill, because if you remember a few weeks ago, Jake had to break in someone's house just to come on the show.
Yeah. I'm actually in that house again today, so keep it on the road.
Okay, everyone be quiet, and we won't get caught.
Oh, God.
So we're also joined by Let's Chat's answer to Hulkamania, the man who dares to not just cross the line, but to climb up a 6-story ladder and elbow drop it. From Baron von Comics, Mr. Erik Baron.
What's up, Owen? How are you doing?
Yeah, it was good until I had to introduce you. So Let's Chat Comics is the show where we... Shut up. So Let's Chat Comics is the show where we discuss and break down 2 of our favourite comics that we've read recently, and then share them with the group. So Erik, I'm going to start with you. What's the first book? What's the first book you brought for us?
I brought a Battle World story from Secret Wars, Howard the Human. And it is, it's a twist on Howard the Duck, and it's written by Scotty Young and drawn by Jim Mayford. Okay. I probably screwed up that last name, but I apologize. But
would I know them 2 from anywhere? Because they're not names that instantly ring a bell to me.
Scotty Young is from Little Big Marvel Avengers vs. X-Men.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not really familiar with Jim Mayford's work.
I do like the art in that, though. I haven't had a chance to read it, but I had a quick flick through the book in the shop today. It's a really interesting art style, and I really like it. What do you think about the book?
We'll start off with the art style. I really enjoyed the art style. It's it may be too hectic for some people, but I enjoy this art style, and it's very. It's not straight lines. It's kind of just very obscure art. I love it a lot. The story is basically about Howard the Human, who is usually Howard the Duck, and he's in a world with all animals instead of all humans. So it's kind of a twist on the old Howard the Duck story, which is written by Chip Zdarsky, in which I really love Chip Zdarsky's writing, and I kind of wish he did this book, but Scotty Young did an excellent job for this particular story. Some of the characters featured in this is a baboon who is Wilson Fisk. Dr. Connors, who's a bartender, who's a lizard. So his role hasn't really changed. And Mouse Murdoch, the daredevil.
I was trying to work out for ages what the Punisher was, and I think I've come to the conclusion that he might be an iguana.
I think so too.
So what are your overall thoughts about the book? Did you enjoy it? Would you recommend it to everyone?
I do. I recommend it to anybody. It's a great break. It's one of these, especially during Secret Wars, it's one of these stories where you can just kind of take it for what it is, and it's comical and it's silly because everyone in the world's animals but Howard the Human, and it's a great play on Howard the Duck universe, and it really can be enjoyed by everybody.
Interesting. So, Jake, I'm not sure if you've had a chance to pick up Howard the Human. So, what are your overall thoughts from what Erik said about it?
It looks pretty awesome. I was really close to getting it, and I thought, I'm pretty sure Eric's gonna grab it because he's already into Howard the Duck. So I was like, I'm pretty sure he's probably gonna grab it. But I think I might have even tweeted at you about it, right?
Yes, you did.
Back when. Yeah, I did, right? Okay, yeah, I thought I did. I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And you're like, I'm already getting it. So I was like,
back off.
Yeah, he's like, back off. I'm doing it for the show.
I'm doing it for the show.
I kind of cracked up at this long tar in the chat, called it New Quack City.
That's the city. That's what it's called.
Is it okay? Because I was like laughing because I was thinking about Wesley Snipes and New Jack City, and so that just had me like cracking up. I'm like, wait, did he just make that like his own? So, sorry, Long Tar. I thought you were brilliant. I'm going to erase my comment right now because I thought you're like making Wesley Snipes jokes. But no, it looks really good. I'd probably be interested. I'm actually already interested in getting the other Howard the Duck once it comes out in trade.
It's great.
Yeah, you're having fun. To me, it looks like it's a fun read. And just the idea of just the way he looks on the cover with his like mustache and being the only human around all these like superhero animals is like hilarious to me. So I'm definitely gonna want to check it out.
Just before we move on to our next topic, Nick V wants to make the point that Howard the Human looks like Emilio Estevez, which I can now not shake off my brain.
He looks like any 70s actor.
Pretty much.
That is an incredible porn tash.
It is a porn stash he has, yeah.
So, Jake, I know there's a specific book that you're dying to talk about, and I really feel the same. You brought up issue 1 a few weeks back, and I was so impressed by what you said about the book. I went up and picked up the issue, and I'm now absolutely hooked on the series. I know I've always been a bit more of a DC kind of guy, which I've gotten a lot of slack from you guys from. But this is one of the few Marvel books that I am reading religiously at the moment. So, without further ado, tell us all about 1872, number 2.
Yeah, 1872, number 2 picks up where it left off. I know this came out like, last week, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's actually off a week. But I think you said your delivery got, backlogged or something like that in the UK. So
yeah, we had a bit of problems with the company.
I'm surprised you guys didn't set things on fire because this book is really good.
Yeah.
Again, like it's just I kind of wanted to avoid it, but like just because it was so good, I'm like, no, I have to talk about it because it's really that good. If you haven't been reading it, you need to pick it up. I know a lot of the consensus was kind of like, well, they already did that with 1602, and Neil Gaiman wrote it, and that was
very
really
different to 1602, though, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. But I think everybody had their thoughts on it. Like, no, nothing's gonna beat 1602, but it's a completely different era, completely different story. And this really captures the heart of a Western, and it does
Yeah.
stuff with like, especially what it does with Steve Rogers. Like, I would rather see this Steve Rogers in the Marvel universe than what we actually have, because this dude is like legit. And I'm telling you, there's so much happening, and then you fall in love with different characters, and nobody's safe. I'll put it that way, not to put
No.
any spoilers out
No,
there,
no spoilers, but
but it
no one
goes
is
down.
safe in
It is
1872.
like, it's legit like Tombstone, the shootout at the OK Corral, that type of like intensity towards the end of this book. And I don't know if you caught this, but did you catch again like all the little hints and stuff that they throw out about the Marvel universe? Like,
Yeah.
I missed this the first read through, but they have Misty Knight in it, and it's like one of
Really?
those subtle things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those really subtle things. There's one panel where she's like grabbing Tony Stark, and then you see that she has an arm brace, and then all of a sudden you're like, Misty Knight. She has that, arm or whatever.
I caught the like the Peter Parker reference in the first issue,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and,
And
there's,
so it's
there's
just
loads
been-
of little stuff like that.
yeah, just really fun little Easter eggs. Have the Vision as the gypsy fortune teller thing.
Yeah, it's the fortune teller that
Uh,
Tony Stark's made. Just
I
little
will-
stuff
I
like
will
that.
spoil-
Like
yeah, I
Tony
wanna
Stark
spoil this.
being no. Go
The
on.
one spoiler you guys will get is Otto Doc Ock, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they use is because you're like, how is that going to work in a Western? But the way they use it is pretty brilliant, and you're like, this is pretty cool, especially what they're doing with
Yeah.
6-shooters and stuff. So
Like when I was reading the book and I saw it, I was like, wait, is that Doc Ock?
yeah,
I had a proper look at it and I was like, that's a really interesting take on it. I think, without delving too much into spoilers, at the end of the first issue, Mayor Fisk has hired Bullseye in to basically come and take out Sheriff Rogers, who's basically, the basic premise is the Indian character Red Wolf, who is a part of the all-new Marvel lineup. This is his book, so if you need an actual reason to read the book, besides the fact it's awesome, it will actually tie into the post-reboot Marvel universe. And basically, Sheriff Rogers rescues Red Wolf, and because the mob want to lynch him because it's westerns and that's what they do. And Rogers is like, no, you're not doing that. Fisk's like, I'm there, I'll do what I want. And so he hires Bullseye, who shows up at the end of the first issue. I won't delve too much into it. There may or may not be a couple of other supervillains that show up, specifically Daredevil-related villains. But this isn't my review of the book. But Jake obviously doesn't want to talk about it anymore.
I just want everybody to go and get it, and then that way I don't feel bad about the spoilers, because it's been really fun. It's if you're a big fan of 1602, don't worry, that's its own thing. This doesn't ruin that, and I don't vice versa or whatever. It's just really fun. If you love westerns, then you'll definitely love this. This will be one that you'll want to get in the trade even. It's that fun, and it's really cool looking for the Easter eggs. And like you said, who's this? This kind of looks like it could be Elektra, or is this who I think it is? The one person I thought was Wolverine, and I'm like, is this Wolverine? Because they hint there's another Easter egg in the first one with Wolverine. So you're like, is it Wolverine? And then you're okay, no, it's not. But you know what I mean? There's really cool subtle things. You get a Black Widow in it.
Yeah.
And there's kind of a play on her name, kind of.
Yeah.
So it's really, really smart, and I'm just enjoying it. And I don't know, I just so excited that I'm if I could, I'd be oh, shake people down and why aren't you reading this? Become addicted to it like it's crack, and I don't know. That went too far.
Marvel's 1872. It's like crack, but without the horrible aftertaste.
There you go. Yeah. and the first one is never free. You actually have to buy it for $3.99 or whatever it is. But
which is cheaper than buying crack, for the record.
Yeah, it is.
So you're saving money. But what more could you want, really?
Exactly.
So, Erik, are you keeping up with 1872 at all?
I am.
So have you read issue 2?
I've read issue 2. I really enjoy it. For me, it kind of gets lost within, because I'm reading all of Secret Wars, and it kind of gets lost because there's so many titles. But I hold 1602 true to my heart. So, like you said, it's two separate things, but I kind of prefer the original.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I think that they're both original enough in their own rights that you can stand side by side each other, and you can compare them because they have similar themes. But at the same time, you can tell they're both very different books.
You know what it is? If I go when I go back, I'm gonna just read this story separately, and I'm gonna probably enjoy it 100 times more.
Yeah. So, in the very first in Let's Chat Comics, the three successive books are all going to be Marvel related. Yes, I want to talk about Secret Wars #5.
It's not Batman this week for you?
No, Batman will come into it later. But as
Gotcha.
for right now, Secret Wars #5. Now, I know it's a couple of weeks old, but I haven't really had the chance to discuss it with you guys and everyone in the chat. Have you both read it? Just to
I have.
clarify, we've all read
Yes.
Secret Wars #5. Now, because this is a book that's been out for about 2 or 3 weeks, we will be going into detailed spoilers. So if anyone hasn't read the book yet, mute it, and then Jake will wave when it's safe to come back.
I'll give you guys one of those.
So it seems like they're building towards the end of Battleworld now, and I have a feeling that Franklin and Valeria Richards are really going to play a big role in it. You know, with the tease that Franklin will crush whoever murdered Strange, and we see Valeria might be starting to put two and two together that all with God King Doom might not be as they seem. But I have my theories about how the book's going to end. You know, we also saw Thanos at the end of the issue, and he's looked like he's going to tear down the walls and cause some major shit. So, what did you think of this issue, and where do you think the book's going to go from here?
I don't really know because they added a book 9 to the series.
Yeah, they
which
did.
which could just be a kind of epilogue, which I think it is. Because I know, based on Hickman does like to write a lot, and he likes to
Yeah.
make his stories very long and very detailed, and that's what I appreciated about Hickman. So I'm kind of curious to see why that ninth book was added. But to talk about this book, I'm loving each and every Secret Wars as it comes out. The next one is my favorite. It just keeps getting better and better. And as Doom is one of my favorite characters, this is like the tell-all story for me because we might not ever see Doom again after this,
Yeah.
or at least for a long whiles.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very vocal in my theory about how the book's going to end, and I think Franklin's going to play a huge role in it.
Me too.
I think, because obviously, I think Franklin. We don't know how his power levels still are, but I have a feeling that he might still have some of the power to be able to recreate the universe, and if not, I think he can write in ways that he could get it. And I think in the end, I think Franklin is going to be the one to kind of put the universe back right, or at least the best that they can, because I think they teased in this issue that this isn't actually the original versions of everyone on
It's not.
Battleworld. That Doom, he didn't just like put the pieces together. Doom has completely remade everything.
Yep.
So
I think he said-
is.
Sorry.
Go on.
I think he said in the first issue that he made everything in his vision. So
Yeah, and the reference that everyone's made out of Beyonder particles, which of course is where Doom gets his power from.
yep.
So it seems like, maybe Doom, he made this universe himself, but I don't think, I have a feeling that doesn't include everyone on the life rafts, however. So the likes of Miles Morales, Peter Parker, Reed Richards, because these are people that aren't meant to be in this universe.
Nope.
And, I think, as Nick spoiled my theory in the chat before, I think that that Doom is going to be trapped in the negative zone or some sort of pocket dimension. And I think to make sure he stays there, I think Reed's going to go in there with him, which is why 616 Reed isn't around in the all-new Marvel. But, Jake, what are your theories on this, and what are you thinking about Secret Wars so far?
So far I've been kind of like piecemealing it because like I missed out on the first couple issues. So honestly, I've been just listening to Sal from Comic Pop spoil it for me. But I don't know, man. Like I'm excited about it because to me, I feel like it's the first ongoing series that I'm actually a part of. Because what got me back into comics was Civil War, and by that time, like all the Civil War was already kind of like done or coming out in trades. So it's like exciting, but at the same time, the delays is like, this is why I don't watch like TV when it airs. I'd rather get the DVD, Blu-ray, Netflix thing because it's just like I'm like now I have to sit here and wait, and it's just like I'm speculating all this stuff, and then my brain wanders here, and then my imagination isn't as good as Hickman's. So then when I get it, I'm like, no, I didn't even see that coming. Like why? Like if you guys haven't seen, Doctor Strange dies and stuff like that, right? So
Yeah.
like yeah, like so I think I was like, what? No, like obviously something's gonna happen because he already has his own book coming out.
Well, it doesn't have to be that Doctor Strange, though.
Exactly, but that's
No,
that's the thing. Like,
I think that's Ultimate Doctor Strange.
I believe so also.
I think that's 1610 Strange because he looks significantly younger than Sheriff Strange did. So that leads me to believe, and plus he's got the axe.
I got an
I think
axe.
that leads me to believe that that's 1610 Strange. But either way, so how do you think it's going to go down towards the end? Do you agree with me that you think Reed and Doom are going to kind of cancel each other out? I think that'd be a very kind of poetic way to go around them. With them always being polar opposites, but yet so similar. What do you think, guys?
I think that Molecule Man is going to recreate the world with Franklin Richards.
I don't think Molecule Man's emotionally stable enough. I think they're teasing. They seem to be setting Molecule Man up to be a villain in this. It seems. The choice of language by Hickman in his scene sequence number 5 was very evoking of Galactus.
Yeah, he needs to feed. He needs to eat.
Yeah, he talks about devouring and hunger.
Maybe he just needs a Snickers.
Maybe. I don't know if they have Snickers in Battleworld. The Thor Corps might have some.
Well, they could take a page from DC and start selling Twix, and maybe that'll help. No?
When you start reading your Action Comics, and what goes better with Action Comics than a Twix?
Well, nothing better than Nick Lachey trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Rat Twix is better, or whatever he sings. I don't know. What the stupid
98 degrees was 20 years ago.
So overall, are we all enjoying Secret Wars? Did we enjoy issue number 5? I know it was a bit of a slower pace from issue 4, where so much happened, but I think this really did a good job of setting the scene and seeing where the next kind of couple of issues are going to take us. What do you think, Jake?
I don't know, man. I'm just kind of like antsy, but then like anticipating it, and I don't know. I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. I know 5 is a good place to start jumping on. So if you're like me, like everybody's telling me like, no, like, okay, don't worry about the other ones because I know it'll probably hurt your wallet a little bit. But if you jump on 5, you're good. Like it helps you jump back on track. So if you guys are like me, let's jump on in and let's get the rest of the half. I mean, we've got like 6 months until issue 6 comes out, so that's plenty of time to save money for it. It gives
for a penny a day.
Yeah, it gives the artist enough time to like draw all the pictures that which I think people
but
are both.
The art is stunning, though.
Yeah, and I think that's
how
what
it takes a long time,
right? Isn't that what the delays are on? Is on the art?
Yeah, it seems to be that Saul Ribic is struggling to keep up. From what I can gather, Hickman's got it all written, so it's just Ribic trying to catch up. But
With
he pays such attention to detail that I don't really mind the delays as such. I know a lot of people were really annoyed with them, but if he needs longer to keep the art at the same standard, then I have no problem with that. Because I thought in terms of just the art, I thought Secret Wars number 5 was the best in the whole series.
Wow. Yeah.
In terms of just the actual art.
I liked 4 a lot, but 5 was spectacular.
It's just, with him not feeling as rushed now as he did in the earlier couple of issues, he can take more time with it, and he can paint a more vivid picture. And, I think it really shows. So, anyway, Erik, what's the second book you've got for us today?
I read Batgirl 43.
What a strange, bizarre world we're in when I'm talking about Marvel and you're talking about DC.
It is this is bizarro world we're in right now.
And you're wearing a Tom Hardy t-shirt.
And I'm wearing it. Yeah, this is bizarro, Erik. I'm not.
And you're smiling.
Right?
You're happy.
You haven't told me to fuck off yet.
Not yet. They've still got some show left there, Owen. But back to Batgirl. This is a series I really like, and I've been digging this for a long time. Up until 41, where Jimbo Gordon made a big cameo. And I'm not big on the new Batman, so it kind of ruined 41, and I was kind of hesitant to get back into Batgirl after that. But I read 42, and 42 was really solid, and now we're up to 43. Yeah. You know what it is? There is a lot going on in this book, and
do tell.
There are a lot of plots going on. A lot of minor plots. Barbara Gordon's life is hectic. It's really a great book because it's not a bad hectic with a lot of plot points. It's a good one where it tells a lot of good stories with Lucius Fox.
You know, she's got to use her legs and walk around and jump, and she's got to make up for lost time. You know, she spent 30 years paralyzed in a wheelchair.
Yeah, and they've really done a great job making up for that time. And you know, the art style is okay. I don't really dig the art style. It's kind of it's very plain, the art style. It seems that if you browse through the comic, you could almost be like, wow, I guess there's two different artists on this, but there isn't. It's really strange. I haven't seen it, but on a counterpoint to that, I can see where they're trying to tell another story, like another plot point in lighter colors, lighter tone, less detail, just kind of plain. And then it tells the main story in more darker and more vivid colors. So it's overall a really good book.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy this book on the levels of where I enjoy Squirrel Girl, and just a fun book that you can read about a superhero and just sit and enjoy. There's tigers running around in a building. It's I don't really want to spoil it. It's really good. I really recommend this book. It's about the Velvet Tiger as a villain, and there's just a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of emphasis on the supporting cast, and it doesn't hurt it. So that's always a great thing. That you know you're doing something right when you're writing a lot of plot points about the supporting cast, and it doesn't interfere with the main story.
Yeah. I mean, so, you know, I've not really read much of the New 52 Batgirl or the DCU Batgirl. So does Jim Gordon, does Batman play into this quite a lot?
Not really. Once in a while, you'll get the Bat events where they kind of cross over.
Right, okay, but they're very much separate still.
Yeah, they're very much
That's
separate
good.
stories, which is good.
That's good.
Because I hate Batman right now, and I don't. I'm not enjoying that.
It's for a specific taste. I'm staying on the book for a couple of issues because I feel like it could be going in a very interesting direction. I have a couple of theories. I don't think Jim Gordon's going to make it out of this volume alive. I think Jim's going to bite the bullet, and I think someone else is going to have to take up the mantle of Batman. And maybe Bruce Wayne isn't prepared to do that again. Maybe someone else might have to take the mantle up.
You know what? I don't mind Jim Gordon. I just hate the fact that he's Batman. It kind of buggers me in a big metal suit. That's not. I think it's something like I didn't grow up with Jim Gordon as Batman, so it's kind of wrong.
Like, he's not a bad character, and Snyder, for what he has to work with, he writes him in an interesting way. But it's still a strange kind of feeling to think that that's Commissioner Gordon, because he doesn't even look like Gordon anymore.
Yeah,
No, he doesn't.
Like, if it was just a new character, if it was just, you know, just a new, like, GCPD guy who's taken up the mantle, I think people would probably be more okay with it than the fact it's such an established character.
Yeah, when I see Jim Gordon, I see gray hair, bushy white mustache, and glasses.
Yeah, you think of an older man.
Exactly.
You know, they've now retconned in for the New 52 and said that Gordon's actually only around 43.
Yeah.
Which I think that's really strange.
It's very weird.
Yeah,
But
I thought it was a different guy at first. I was like, "Who's this guy with like looks like a red-haired mohawk?" And I'm like, "What's going on?" And then it's like, "That's Gordon." I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I'm not reading this because this is throwing me way off." And then especially with Slender Blossom Man showing up, I'm like, "Yeah, what's that all about?" But
I think that looks quite cool. You know, it was a.
It's Spawn.
it's well, I don't know. Like at first, it was just like that cover was like rah, like that. I'm like, what the heck is that? Like, Why does he have a flower on his face? Like, that's the most menacing thing they have is like Jim Gordon versus Flower Guy, you know?
Greg Capullo, that's in his mind, that's the scariest thing he can draw.
It's all sunflowers. I had nightmares when I was a child.
Scary flowers for everybody. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're focusing on new villains as opposed to just. I like the fact that Gordon's Batman, so you're on about him, but he's getting his. Even if he's only in for a short time, he's getting his own villains, and he's very much feeling like his own character, and not just. And I guess overall, that's the kind of theme of the book, that he's trying to step into the role of Batman. I think the whole thing, and maybe it's Snyder commenting on people's reactions to the book, but the whole kind of commentary in the book is that Gordon is trying to fill into a role that he's not meant to be in. That he constantly feels in the shadow of the original Batman. And, there's constant scenes where, people are comparing Gordon to Bruce and Bruce to Gordon. And, this Batman did this, but this Batman does that. And, I think we see that by the end of 43, that Gordon's he's kind of growing into the role a little bit. He's kind of becoming a bit more confident as Batman, which of course means that he's going to be killed.
Yeah. But if I definitely recommend this. If you want to start with the most recent run, it starts at issue 41. But
Batgirl.
Batgirl, I highly recommend
that's
it.
a book too.
Yep.
Yeah, and, I was going to say, like, how did we get on Batman? But Owen's here, so that's how.
Yeah.
I told you Batman was coming, but I didn't say it was in my book.
But I highly recommend it. It's only 3 issues deep, so you should pick up all 3 issues. It's really good.
Interesting. So next up, I've read Justice League of America #3. And I've been keeping you guys up to speed with Brian Hitch's run on the Justice League. So to condense things down, the Kryptonian god Ra has arrived on Earth and has begun healing the sick and performing miracles, much to the pleasure of Superman especially. However, Batman, as you can imagine, isn't so keen on this new Messiah figure. And also, as this is all going on, Green Lantern and the Flash have been missing due to them being teleported by Green Lantern's ring during a fight with the Parasite, and the mysterious Infinity Corporation is still looming around. So, at the start of issue 3, we catch up with Wonder Woman, who was seen at the end of issue 2 unconscious back in Olympus, and I'm sorry for a pun for a really bad movie, but Olympus has fallen. All the Greek statues are in ruins. And no, Jake, I am not on a subsurge drunk. I have been sat on the Morbius chair.
You skipped him.
I'm over here scrambling the post-production. You skipped them. Like, oh shit, which number is it? Oh my god.
Yeah, but okay.
But so anyway,
It just seems like we just lost our minds right now because nobody can hear Nick. they're just laughing maniacally for no reason.
We're intently listening to nobody.
Yeah,
the chat don't know what's about to happen to them.
they don't. Go for it. Tell us about Rao some more and how enthusiastic we're going to be about it.
So at the start of issue 2, we catch up with Wonder Woman, and towards the end of issue 2, we find Wonder Woman back in Olympus, and she's unconscious, and we see that all the giant Greek statues, they're all being destroyed and they're all in ruins. And we see this Wonder Woman, we have a bit of exposition where we learn that the gods have fled Olympus, that they have abandoned Wonder Woman due to them fearing what's ahead, i.e. the end of everything, i.e. Rao. So we're kind of getting little hints that Rao may not be as nice as he seems. And while this is going on, our good buddy Rao, because for the most part, he still seems to be a pretty nice guy, he just decides he's going to end all hunger, corruption and poverty in Africa. So he goes and does that. Africa's awesome. Looks like a sick place to go. We're going to go on our official Let's Chat holiday. We're not. And that action isn't something that sits well with the United Nations because, the dictators that he overthrew and the people he made poor, they put them there. It was the United Nations that put those dictators there and made sure the people stayed hungry. And, so we kind of see that the governments are going against Rao because they feel like he's stepping over his line a little bit. And so Batman and Superman then meet up on the route. What are we laughing at?
That JLA is still a book. That's what I'm laughing at.
I'm enjoying JLA at the moment.
You and the 2 other people that enjoy the JLA.
I keep forgetting that you guys can hear me and they can't, so I don't actually have my mic open, muted right now.
But
So like you guys keep hearing me chuckle and it's fucking throwing you off.
JLA is the worst book going on right now.
So Batman and Superman meet up on a rooftop, and Bruce explains to Clark that he doesn't trust Rao at all, and he believes Superman to be acting very naive and out of character. And then he goes to track down some of Rao's converts, and kind of sees, what the kind of people that Rao's associating with are all about. We also find out what happened to Flash and Green Lantern. Turns out they've been transported into the middle of a gladiator battle on Krypton. Now this is where it's getting interesting. They've been transported to Krypton.
Yippee.
Barry and Hal manage to escape from the battle, and Hal scans around the area with his ring, and he finds out that not only is he on planet Krypton, he's 250,000 years in the past.
Hold on. Owen, he's on Krypton?
He's on Krypton. Ladies and gentlemen, Hal Jordan and Barry Allen are on Krypton.
Yay.
They're in ancient Roman Krypton.
It's like Roman.
It's like Roman, but it's like Krypton. And so the book ends with Hal Jordan meeting up with some of the gladiators and him demanding to speak to the leader, and they take him to Rao. But we don't get to see that because that's in the next issue. So I'm not even going to bother asking your thoughts because you obviously do not care at all.
Well, I can tell you that the chat doesn't care either because apparently a fight broke out between Sammy and Orem. So there's like snicking and Mr. PGing and I don't know what else happened. So
you guys better play nice in there. Don't make me come in there.
And rightfully so, because you're talking about JLA.
I'm a Brit who's drunk on his own success and power. Do not make me come in there.
Every JLA story that has been told. Nothing's new. It's a shame that DC readers are getting tricked in reading this book.
I'm enjoying it because it's Marvel doing all this grand Secret War stuff. I'm kind of using JLA as just like a little break. It's just a fun story. It's nothing. Don't get me wrong. It's nothing amazing. It's nothing special. It's nothing overly memorable. It's just a fun book where you get to see Batman act like Batman, Superman act like Superman, Green Lantern act like Green Lantern. It's a bit of a change from what they're doing in the other books. Where it's not Bruce Wayne and it's not Superman. It's nice to just see kind of the legacy versions of the characters.
If you want to see that, read Convergence. Because it's all Earth 2. Read about Earth 2.
Don't. Do not bring Earth 2 into this.
Don't bring Convergence into this.
No. Do not bring Earth 2 into this, because I love Earth 2. And what Convergence did to that run, they absolutely destroyed what Tom Taylor had done there. Now, if you don't know who Tom Taylor is, Tom Taylor wrote the first 2 years of Injustice and the initial runs of Earth 2. And
read JLI. JLI is way better than JLA will ever be.
I'm enjoying it. I'm a big fan of Brian Hitch as an artist, so I think the art's been really cool in this. I prefer Richard Run on Ultimates. I wasn't really a big fan of his Ultimates art. I thought bits of it looked very cartoony, but I think it's got a very hyper-realised sense to it, and I think it's really nice. And so we're going to move on anyway, because this is just not going well. Jake, what's your second book?
The one that everybody's been waiting for, Ant-Man.
Is that a school for ants?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's summer, so they're probably in your house somewhere.
Honestly, so anyway, I want to thank everyone for watching.
Really? You're going to cut me off on
Wow.
And we listen to your diatribe on JLA. Really? I bet everybody in the chat's like, finally, something good, Ant-Man, which everybody's like, who the crap is Ant-Man? I didn't even know he had a book come out this week.
Well, why
the last days of Ant-Man is excellent.
Yeah, so pretty much I really wasn't really that happy with the releases that came out this week. And so like Ant-Man, I was like, whatever, I'll check it out. And the little what's it called? The preview panels were like Ant-Man being smushed under this big blob of a person who you find out later on is called Slug, and he's like a bootleg Kingpin. And so it's kind of like he tells you, like, when I shrink down, I get like, the more I shrink, the stronger I get. Like in the movie, if you saw the Ant-Man movie, and he says like, but yet here I am, everybody says I'm gonna smash you like a bug or I'm gonna squish you, and he's like, this is the first time this has actually happened to me because this guy is so huge. So it's pretty like no joke. I saw this and I'm like, man, I need to lose some weight. Because the way this guy looks is pretty gnarly, and he's called the Slug. So I think it's kind of funny, Slug against ants. But so it's essentially like it feels like it's called the last days of Ant-Man. So it's obviously taking place right before the Earth is destroyed in the incursion, and it's kind of like, what did Ant-Man do before the end of the world? And
What did Ant-Man do before the end of the world? Do tell us.
it's pretty fun, and I think especially with now that I kind of hear Paul Rudd anytime now I read anything with Ant-Man in it, especially Scott Lang Ant-Man. The jokes feel like they could fit in a movie. Especially there's like especially a part where you find out he's turned Ant-Man into like a security job type of a, I guess, enterprise. So now he's like this, Ant-Man security. And one of his patrons is this older lady. And when he's trying to explain why he hasn't made any money, just the way he's talking sounds like Paul Rudd talking. And then he says like, oh, we got attacked by this guy called Grizzly. And he was like, rawr. And then we got hit by a Taskmaster. And he like tries to put up his nose to make it look like he's like a skeleton and stuff like that. So it's like really funny. And it sounds like something Paul Rudd would say. And you get this really cool story where it opens, kind of like jumps back and forth, kind of like a Tarantino thing where you get, maybe the present, the past, whatever. And it kind of culminates into this nice little story. I don't want to spoil that part. I think that part's like kind of fun, and readers will like get a kick out of it. Especially like seeing, I guess I'll throw this out. There's like, I guess, golden age type heroes and stuff like that in a retirement home, which is kind of funny if you stop and think about like, what does happen if you're a golden age hero or villain? Where do you get stuck at when you're, kind of old and senile? So it's kind of a cool little thing I'll hint that for the watchers or those that haven't read it yet. But the awesome part is actually the ending, and this I will spoil because I'm pretty sure not everybody's gonna run out and be like, I want to read Ant-Man. He tries to go see Cassie. Cassie's not home. She's out on like some kind of trip or something like that. And he's kind of like, he's got the world is ending. This is it. And so he does what any hero who can't be with the person he loves. He's like, I'm just gonna go and drown my sorrows and at a bar or pub with with somebody will get me, or at least pretend. You know what I mean? The guy behind the counter pretending to like care about you because he just wants you to buy drinks. But he's based in Miami. So you're not going to find any dingy pubs or bars in Miami. You're going to find nothing but like nightclubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He heads into one, and apparently dancing mid, dance floor or whatever like that is this chick called the Beetle. I don't know who that is. She's there. And apparently in the prior book, she tried to assassinate Tony Stark. So he's like, well, if I'm going to be a hero, I'm going to go out like a hero and like try to take her down. She actually takes him down, and so you're like, what's going on? Next thing they know, they're like chatting it up, and they start flirting with each other. And then all of a sudden, he kind of has this like talk where it's like, man, when I first joined the Avengers, you could tell I was nervous, and everybody was like, don't worry about it, Scott, you'll do good. And it's like, he's like, Steve Rogers took me aside, and he just kind of like put his hand on my shoulder, looked me deep in the eye, and it's like, hey man, like just breathe, you're gonna be good, but you need to know this. No matter what Tony Stark tells you, you don't sleep with the supervillains. The very next panel is him waking up saying, I'm so sorry, Captain.
Oh.
That's what he ended up doing. And you kind of get this funny back and forth. And then the last thing you get to see Ant-Man say is like, I kind of wish the world would end. And that's the last panel you get. So it's really fun. I know I kind of spoiled the ending for you on his last day, but the heart of the story is what happens to these golden age heroes and villains in this retirement elderly home and stuff like that. So it's definitely worth picking up. I didn't spoil that for you, and you'll have a blast reading it. I really enjoyed it, and this makes me want to read more Ant-Man. I know, Erik, you said you really enjoyed the trade when you got it.
I did.
And so I'm like, well, I need to go pick up that trade because I'm enjoying this Scott Lang.
Yeah, it's really interesting. First trade's really interesting. I think you should definitely pick it up if you like this issue.
Okay.
Okay.
It sounds really interesting actually. It's no JLA, and it's none of our good buddy official Let's Chat fan Rao, Rao always checks in to Let's Chat. Erik, you could not seem less impressed about it. But yeah. So I think before we end the show, I want to quickly talk about some news that broke earlier today. A few official images seem to reveal the teams for Captain America: Civil War, and they appear to stand as such. On Team Cap, we have Captain America, the Falcon, Agent 13, Sharon Carter, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, and the Winter Soldier. And on Team Stark, we have Iron Man, War Machine, Black Widow, the Vision, and Black Panther. So guys, what do you make of these images and these teams? Another question is, where does Spider-Man stand in all this? Erik, I'll ask you first.
To answer your last question first, Spider-Man, they're probably holding back the art concepts for Spider-Man right now, so that's why you don't see him on Team Stark, but he's definitely Team Stark. But I'm totally Team Cap on this. I'm a Bucky Barnes fan, so
it's going to be cool. One thing I noticed about Team Cap is that they've got Hawkeye and Ant-Man together, which means that we may see Hawkeye launch Ant-Man.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Which would be great.
That's going to happen.
But I do think it leans towards the rumour that came out a while ago of Spider-Man being on Team Stark, because as we see at the moment, Cap's team has 6 people, and Tony's team has 5. So there's obviously a spot open there.
Yeah, and I don't think Marvel is going to release those images of Spider-Man this far out.
They've been very good to make sure Tom Holland hasn't been seen on set. Nothing is leaked. It has literally been one of the best kept secrets in a long time. Jake, what do you make of these images and these teams for Civil War?
Was anybody else like me thought it was a bootleg picture at first when you first initially looked at it?
Yeah.
Well, it was concept art. That's why it looked kind of weird.
Yeah, but like even as concept art, like it looked like really especially the one that threw me off was Vision, because it looked like completely ripped from like the Age of Ultron, and so I'm like, is somebody trying to like prank me with some Photoshop? But then I guess I'll like it's official, like it's concept art, like calm down, like don't freak out. But I thought it was cool. I didn't even see Ant-Man at first. I forgot, and it wasn't until someone was like, he's on his shoulder, and I'm like,
he sat on Hawkeye's shoulder.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, I'm like 6 against 5, and then I'm like, wait, where's Scarlet Witch in this? Where does she take? Whose side is she on?
Probably neutral.
I imagine Scarlet Witch would probably be on Cap's side, because in Age of Ultron, it seems to be very much of them two were working, and she's part of the New Avengers. You have to remember.
I think she's not going to be in the movie a lot, because I think she's going to be training with Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's interesting. I have a feeling that I don't think we'll see Strange too much in Civil War, because as in the comics, Strange
he's
stays out of it.
Credit, man.
But I think I think the post-credit scene is going to be him sat in the Sanctum Sanctorium, looking out the window, watching them all beat the crap out of each other, and just being like, I wonder what Dormammu's up to. It's got to be more fun than this. And then just goes off.
Dormammu's stealing Doctor Doom's mother. That's what he's doing.
On the note of Dormammu, now we've seen the growing cast for Doctor Strange. We've seen Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange. We've seen Tilda Swinton is the Ancient One, and we've seen Chiwetel Ejiofor is playing Baron Mordo. Now, another rumour's come out today saying that Hannibal star Mads Mikkelsen may be up for a villainous role, which, since there's only 2 Doctor Strange villains, is most likely Dormammu. I'm sorry, can you name a Doctor Strange villain that isn't either Baron Mordo or Dormammu? There you go. If you can't think of it straight away, you won't
have
think of
any
it.
like crazy creature from any of those dimensions come out. Like in The Oath, he's fighting to get for cancer, and it's that weird monster thingamajiggy.
Doctor Doom.
I'm just excited to see Cucumber Patch do his thing as Doctor Strange, because Cucumber is the best actor out there right now, and
Fing Fang Foom.
Fing Fang Foom. He's MODOK. Mads Mikkelsen is obviously playing MODOK. But for the people who aren't really familiar with Dormammu, he's like where Baron Mordo is probably going to be the main villain in the film. Dormammu is probably going to be the big threat. He's a very big Marvel villain, and he looks like a cooler version of Ghost Rider. Like if Ghost Rider wasn't trapped in the 90s, you'd have Dormammu.
I think Dormammu's going to be set up for Phase 4 as the big bad for the Avengers.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I think he's going to recruit Baron Mordo, and then you're going to see him again after the Infinite War.
Yeah. I mean, so Dormammu he's basically the
The devil.
yeah,
Basically.
he's the devil. He's he represents the dark side. He represents evil, and we're Mordo and Strange were both trained by the Ancient One. Mordo fell into a darker path. Mordo fell into a darker path. He succumbed to Dormammu and to evil, and there'll definitely be some nice parallels between the characters. And I think of any of the actors, I think Chiwetel Ejiofor and Benedict Cumberbatch will play off each other really well. I mean, what do you think about it, Jake? What do you think about the idea of Mads Mikkelsen possibly playing Dormammu?
I don't know, man. I'm just excited to see everything. I'm still like kind of new to Doctor Strange. So I mean, like the only really book I dove deep into was The Oath. That's why I made that reference earlier. So it's the only foundation I have to stand on. The Oath was really good. Brian K. Vaughan, pick it up. But I'm just excited. Just like same thing with like Ant-Man. Like who really cared about Ant-Man? Everybody probably felt like if there's gonna be a Marvel movie that bombs, it's gonna be Ant-Man.
Well, they thought that about
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
too.
They thought that too. Yeah, who the heck are the Guardians of the Galaxy? And even with them, I had only knew him through what is it, Annihilation? And that one, I only have the second book because I wanted to know who Wraith was because I thought he looked like a cool space. What's his name? Eastwood. What am I thinking of his last name? Clint Eastwood, like a space. Yeah. Anyways, so that one, like, oh, I'll pick up Annihilation, and then I get Groot and Star Lord, and obviously that Star Lord is nothing like Chris Pratt Star Lord, but that I mean, when Guardians came out, I was like, oh, I know who Guardians are. They're in that Wraith book that I really wanted to read. So same thing with Ant-Man. Like, I kind of really didn't care about it, but now because of watching the movie, I hear Paul Rudd when I see Scott Lang on in the books, and I think the same thing. Like, I think a lot of us are just going to be like, man, Doctor Strange. It's not just going to be Tiffany from Comic Pop that's all into it. I think a lot of us are going to jump on board the Doctor Strange train and buy books and stuff.
Watch the Doctor Strange animated movie. It's excellent. It's the only good Marvel animated movie out there.
Oh, really?
And it's a great backstory for Doctor Strange. It's highly recommended.
I have a feeling Jake's going to disagree with that point after the video he did with Marvel Movie Fan about Hulk
I was going to
versus.
say that. I was going to be like, maybe it's the second because Hulk versus, which you can see now on Marvel Movie Fan at YouTube. You can read all about that and see the first appearance of Deadpool voiced by Nolan North.
If we do two things on this show, it's we plug books you don't want to read, and we plug
Movies
things you haven't
don't want
watched.
to watch.
This podcast is pointless yet awesome.
Don't call us pointless.
No, I'm not calling you pointless. You serve a purpose. Well, maybe to annoy me.
I'm just a cog in this giant machine.
Just a
we call-
cock. So I think before we kind of bring the show to a close, I think we want to be serious because we are very serious people. Thank you. And this isn't pointless. We're just feeling sorry for ourselves. Now, obviously, I am drunk off my own success today, and the other guys are sick of me. So I just thought we'd all talk about kind of the ideas behind our individual channels and kind of what we want to do. And I know Eric's been working on a couple of videos, and I know Jake's been working on a couple of stuff. So I kind of just want to give you guys a bit of time to talk about your ideas and what you want to kind of do on YouTube. So, Erik?
Sweet. Well, it's Baron Von Comics on YouTube. We'll start off with the plug. And then I'm going to be doing a bunch of unboxings, a bunch of reviews on sculptures and statues. I'm probably going to start, maybe if it's interesting, since we've had our success with Let's Chat Wrestling post-show for SummerSlam. I may do a weekly Raw review.
Oh.
And start jumping into kind of a back issues type show, but kind of more serious and kind of laying out the facts and the stuff behind or why it was made and what was the initial reaction and how it improved or affected the layout of comic books from a business standpoint.
That's really interesting. I mean, I noticed last week you did the first episode of a show called
Hashtag.
About the whole
Roger Goodell Deflategate.
Roger Goodell and the kind of football fiasco going on at the moment. I think, obviously I don't know too much about the whole topic, but I think that's a really interesting concept for a show, and I really like the name for it. Is that something we're going to be seeing more of, do you think?
Yes, I've been very busy the past couple of weeks with my actual work job, so I'm going to get back in the swing of things and do that as a weekly show. Usually probably put that out on Wednesdays. And it's just, bless you, and that's usually, I'll just pick any random hashtag, because hashtags are popular now with the
Are you going to discuss One Direction splitting up?
I may. It's a show just based on what I feel. It's not comic based. It's not wrestling based. It's nothing. It's just any day what's in the news or what's popular. So that's why I call it hashtag. It's just a popular pop culture item that I'm going to pick out.
Interesting. So, just to plug yourself one more time.
Baron Von Comics on YouTube.
Interesting. Very interesting. Now, I highly recommend you, not because I have to work with the guy, go check his channel out. There's some really cool videos there. I really enjoyed the last unboxing he did, with the Marvel Collector Corps. Just for how cute that Miles Morales pop vinyl is.
It was.
Thanks to Owen and Scott and a couple of other people on Twitter, I can't speak because I'm so in love with pop vinyls. But I probably won't spend as much money on pop vinyls as Erik has. Erik, how many pop vinyls do you have?
Right now, I have maybe 40, and I just bought another 40 to 50 of them.
Can I be in your will?
You get all the pop vinyls. Let that go on the record. You get all the pop vinyls. I actually have one right here. I got Robin from Teen Titans Go.
Hey,
ooh, that's awesome.
It's just kind of.
I ordered my first pop vinyls today. I had I picked up the exclusive for the Collector Corps, the Miles Morales one, and I also picked up the Batman 66.
Oh, and also one more thing, Owen. We'll be doing a lot of unboxings, like Owen said. Marvel Corps, Comic Bento, and we'll be doing Loot Crate starting next month.
Very interesting. I definitely implore you to go check that out. Jake, what about you? You are a man of many channels. You are a man who has his proverbial fingers in a lot of proverbial places.
Yeah, a lot of.
Tell us all about that.
Yeah, I actually have a gaming channel. It's El Cheapo Games, which I'm gonna kind of maybe put on a hiatus for a little bit, just so I can focus more on my my comic book channel, which is El Cheapo Comics. Just because gaming is oversaturated right now, and what I'm doing on that is kind of different. I'm not playing like the AAA games and stuff like that. I'm actually playing like mostly indie stuff and obscure stuff that you can just play for free online. Hence the cheapo. You don't have to worry about like $59.99 price tags and stuff like that. Some really good, some that should have a price tag, and some that are really bad, like Doris and the Dragon. I stopped playing because I hated that game, and that has no views, and it rightfully shouldn't because it's that terrible of a game. And so I just do commentary off of those, but I'm probably going to put that on hold just for a little bit. I kind of want to. I think I talked about to you guys a while back at one of our meetings, and I'm going to probably revamp that, but I think I'm going to put that on hiatus. But I do have a lot of videos on there, and there's a lot of stuff that like I kind of watch and kind of cracked up and can't believe I said. Especially when I start talking in Spanish, because if you know Spanish, you're going to enjoy it. If you don't know Spanish, it's just weird looking at my face and knowing that I'm speaking Spanish, because you're like, why does that guy know Spanish? And so like, I don't know. It blows people's minds when they find out I know Spanish, and I'm like, hey, ¿qué está pasando? Quiero hablar de los comic books y los de los juegos. And they're like, what the crap just happened? That I just have an aneurysm. So those ones are funny just because of that. But
I watched Dora the Explorer, so I know Spanish.
Exactly. You're like, it's the map. It's the map. It's the mapa. Yeah, anyways. So putting that on the hiatus just for a little bit, though. But there are quite a few games on there So you can go back and look at my catalog and probably laugh at some of the ridiculous, absurd stuff that I'm playing. Especially the stuff that I nerd rage out on. Those are pretty funny. But my comic book channel, I've kind of, like you said, busy with life, busy with work. Especially with like some crisis that we had at work lately that was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
you've been telling
yeah, I
us
told the guys about
that.
them. It's pretty ridiculous what happened at my day job. But I kind of want to come back. I do El Cheapo Depot, which is like me reviewing a book that I liked throughout the week, which I kind of told Sammy Reeds I was going to do it. I was going to review, was it Zodiac Star Force? And I
Well,
was
you
like,
best keep your promise because she's watching this
she's
right now. She's in
watching.
the
I know,
chat.
but Sammy, I'm not gonna do it on this show. I'm gonna do it on my Cheapo Depot show. I kind of like tweeted at her. I'm like, you need to check this book out because it's like I don't know. It's both like adorable and like badass at the same time. I don't know how that works. It's like they compared it to like Sailor Moon meets Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, okay.
Which yeah, I made that face too. I'm like Sailor Moon. Like I only watched that because my sister would watch it, and then yeah, honestly, like it was like we that shared the TV. So, but then Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know, Joss Whedon. So I'm like, hey, usually girls are pretty well written, and this is one of those. Like you have funny characters, they're all badass, and it does definitely have like those little like. Anyways, I don't know. I'm gonna save it for Cheapo Depot review, which is where I
don't spoil too much about it now.
I talk about it there, and then I have this one called "I'll Trade You," which is kind of a play on words on me talking about a trade paperback. I've been wanting to do Warren Ellis's Moon Knight, and I've been slacking on it because I think the only thing I have up right now is like X-23 Target X, which I just gush about it, and I think Nick V is probably like the only guy that really enjoyed that one.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, okay, cool. I got two people. Owen?
I watched it.
I figured
no, I enjoyed it. It was. I learned a lot about X-23.
Power right now. I can't.
So.
Yeah, so I'm doing that, and I don't know. I kind of want to work on some other shows. I kind of want to make. I don't want to say make fun, but I want to do funny stuff when it comes to like comics. Like I don't know if I want to necessarily make fun of like our culture or what it is that we have going on, but I just think there's like a lot of opportunity for jokes and stuff like that maybe a lot of people don't take advantage of.
I think there's definitely a place in the community for a more light-hearted approach. And no disrespect to a lot of the people, because this is an amazingly talented community with amazing talented people.
Exactly.
But, and there's nothing wrong with the way a lot of people do, but a lot of people, including myself, like to take it on a very serious stance. And I think it'd be really refreshing to see people take more of the light-hearted and take it in its stride, really.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to plan something like that. I don't know if it's going to look like a skit or how it's going to look, but I just think like there's a lot of because I just enjoy comedy. I'm like a comedy connoisseur, and sometimes I'm funny, sometimes I'm not, and it's very apparent when like the room goes dead as opposed to when everybody lights up. But I just think there's like a lot of comedy gold and stuff like that, especially with what's going on with like Disney, and like all of a sudden I'm like tweeting at Erik. And I'm like saying like, dude, what the heck is Big Thunder Mountain? I've never heard of this Marvel book. And he's like, that's because it's a Disney ride. And I'm like, why? Disney, why?
Can I just interrupt you 1 second? I just saw a message in the chat. Better Call Me says, does anyone notice when Owen doesn't... Did anyone notice Owen doesn't move his lips when he talks?
I spent years training this. Years and years of ninjutsu training up in the Himalayas about how to say so still. Do you know how hard it is to keep your arms in this position for over an hour?
And Sammy brings up the point that he's been sitting really still for a very long time.
I haven't even
It's true, everyone. It's Nick over here. I'm running the show remotely. I'm kind of doing the directing thing. And no, this is a live video feed of Owen. He is a master ventriloquist.
Yep.
He doesn't blink. Doesn't breathe.
I have transcended the need to blink. The Morbius chair.
Especially now with the powers you've gained from your new subscribers that like...
The powers that the great Nerd Sync passed down to me.
That's it.
In the form of subscribers.
Yeah. It's like Weekend at Bernie's, but with comic books. For
Let me try it.
Yeah, I can't. I don't have anything. Wait, hold on. Me too.
Nick V just mentioned over there in the chat that Owen is really just a dummy and it's Goldman doing a British ventriloquist act. That's true. That's why I'm no longer on the show. I'm actually becoming Owen.
Yeah.
It's a whole Wizard of Oz thing going on.
Yeah.
So I think we'll just chat for a little bit, you know.
Uh,
I feel like us guys, we don't talk to each other enough.
Not at all.
I think we need to converse with our fellow people in the chat. So we had, on this topic, we had a couple of people asking before about advice for starting up a YouTube channel. So anyone want to share? You know, Nick, you can chime in this as well. Anyone,
sure.
you know, any little tips for anyone wanting to start out their own channel?
Find people that are better than you. I'm
what
not kidding either. You find people that are better than you, and you do nice things for them, and you be friendly with them, and you learn as much as you can from them, and you try to eventually work with them. That's really the secret. Like, everybody that I work with is way better than I am. And they had actually mentioned, you'll notice that each of these guys do something very unique and in particular. Like, Erik has a freaking ridiculous collection. Like, follow him on Periscope. He has ridiculous amounts of stuff. It's amazing. And then, of course, Jake, he's hilarious. He does all these, like, really obscure books and really obscure games and stuff like that, and he has this wit and timing. Owen just recently read a couple books that Scott and I recommended to him for quantum mechanics, and it totally fucked his mind up. So that's what he has coming. And yeah, it's just essentially just working with people, man. Just humbling yourself and saying, "Hey, can I help you? Can you help me? What advice can you give me?" No matter if they're smaller, if they're bigger, just work with people.
Yeah.
What Nick means to say that he finds 3 puppets and he just runs the show from the back. We're not real. I'm just a robot.
Guy running the show is jacking it.
That's why my video feed isn't on, for the record.
Yeah. I want to take a chance to plug, because I don't really get a chance to plug my own stuff, because my own stuff doesn't really exist. I spend so much time doing like a lot of Let's Chat stuff that these guys have been really generous in helping me like take a little bit of rest time and working on my own material. So you can expect a hell of a lot of Star Wars, Fallout, and some other stuff like that. Not a lot of comic book stuff. I'm still going to be doing Let's Chat comics, and I'll be reviewing comics with these guys. But I think that the comic stuff is well in good hands between like everyone you see on screen, between Sammy and Orem over there. Like they got the comic book stuff really covered. So I'm gonna take that same style that you guys have come to know and love from like the Infinity Stone video and all these Let's Chat stuff, and do like some really cool Star Wars things, video game stuff, that type of thing.
Interesting. Jake, do you have any comments on? You know, you've been doing YouTube for quite a while now with your gaming show, with your comic show. Any advice to people wanting to set up a channel? You know, what could you say to them?
Don't do a gaming channel.
Word.
So do the opposite of my Twitch, right?
Yeah, do exactly the opposite of what I'm doing. Yeah, especially on YouTube. And now that you can stream on YouTube, it's just oversaturated. And so, like, I honestly did it just to how do I want to say this? To like prove to somebody that you can do it, because they were just kind of talking about like, oh, I gotta wait until I get, you know, a job, and then I can do this, and then once I get a job, then I can buy this equipment, and then when I get this, and I'm like, dude, like I'm bootleg, like I'm a bum, I'm like a total like El Cheapo, and I was able to do what I did with like free software and stuff. So
Yeah.
what I've learned from it is it's your content. Like it doesn't matter what it looks like. Well, it kind of does matter what it looks like, but honestly, if like you're being genuine, you're being yourself, people are going to be drawn to that. So I think the people that do watch the video game stuff, I make them laugh. They're enjoying the games, or they're like, oh, I play that game, or that is a really weird game. It's free. I can play it right now. And maybe that's why they don't stay, because they're like, I got to go play this game. It looks pretty cool. Or you really suck at this game, so I'm going to go and show you how good I am. But I don't know, man. Like, if you can find a niche in the gaming thing, then you can. Like, guys like Markiplier have like 9 million subscribers. Dashy XP like plays like one of those, what's it called? Like the decision-based games where you just make decisions. And the dude gets like, I don't know, 57,000 people giving him thumbs up. So, I mean, if you find something that works in gaming, do it. But It's all about being yourself, whether you're reviewing movies, comics, whatever, doing skits. I would just say do that. And if you're in it for like money, then sorry, because I think Nick, you told us like what is it like 0.0002 pennies
It's exactly 0.002 cents per view.
per view. Yeah.
You know.
So
yeah, I mean, you're not necessarily going to make a ton of money off of it. I mean, you have to consider that the people that get 100,000 views, how much do they make on a video? You do the math. That's like $20 on a video, but they put it out per day. So then it ends up being more and more successful. So like, you know, to build off of what Jake was saying is that you just have to have a passion for it. You have to do things that kind of speak to you. Like Jake was doing video games that were rare, that you had to find on the internet really cheap, and kind of bootleg games. And because of the limitations in what he could produce, it made the show better. You know what I mean? But that might be the opposite, say, for Erik, because Erik has a lot of collectibles, has a lot of systems, has a lot of games. So you can play the newest, hottest thing as soon as it comes out and be like, yeah, I played it for 5 minutes, it sucks. But that's because you can go through it, and that's your own special thing. So don't do what somebody else does. Do what you can do. You know, like what do you have anything else about that, Jake?
Yeah, just I mean, exactly. If you can jump on there and be like, let's talk about Phantom Pain before anybody else does, and you'd be like, you know what? Yeah, IGN got it right, 10 out of 10. You know, I mean, I played the first couple levels and loved it. Then like, awesome. But I really do think it's like it's about networking. I mean, honestly, like I'm having more fun with this stuff than I ever did just playing the video games, because it was honestly like just me and the hypothetical people that are going to watch. And honestly, like my comic book channel has like 23 subscribers, and like, you know, 21 of them aren't me. Throw that out there.
It doesn't matter how many you have, and like I know
doesn't.
it sounds shitty coming from me because I have more than you, but it like I see that number fluctuate from 135 to 134 to 136 back down to 134 all the time.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter who you have. It's just fun to do it for people.
yeah, and that's where I'm at right now too. Like, even though I only have like that many subscribers, like I have cool subscribers. Like Nick V is like one of the first dudes to watch my video.
Yeah, dude, we have the coolest fucking fans. We have like 3
like,
fans, but they're awesome.
I'd rather have 13 really cool subscribers than 100 people who are really into my stuff and just watch it to watch it, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm just having fun, like just doing that. Like, if honestly I'm just doing videos for Nick V to make. I mean, he made a meme out of something I said. I didn't even think that was funny. And then next thing I know, he hits me up on Twitter like, check out this meme. And I'm like, dude, I do this at Comic Pop all the time. This feels amazing. I don't know how Comic Pop feels about me blowing up their Twitter, but I'm like, bro, this is cool. And so, like, yeah, I'm just having a blast. Like, I did a Deadpool video, and I'm like at 1,400 views. And I'm just like, that's what? Like, who's watching? Now I'm like nervous at who's watching this, because I thought it was just like, you know.
I watched it 1,300 times.
1,300 times.
Yeah, like we all have that one video. Like, no matter how many views we all have drastically different views, but we all have that one video that has like, how the fuck did it get that many views?
Exactly. I'm like that too. I'm like, I did way better, cooler stuff than that video, but maybe it's because it's Ryan Reynolds and he looks like Owen a little bit, and so although because he's handsome, I don't know. But yeah, like to be honest with you, like just this network that we're building, to me, has been more fun than anything of the video game stuff. And honestly, like, you know, we're not doing it to get paid. Obviously, we all like work day jobs and stuff like that, or have school, or have something we're working on. It's just about like networking, making friends, laughing at some of this cool stuff, arguing, like almost seeing Owen and Erik go to blows, even though they're in completely different time zones, is awesome. And then like having, like, no joke, having Erik bust my balls about loving Tom Hardy, yet he's the first dude to buy the Tom Hardy shirt. That's awesome. Like,
represent.
What?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that is like the coolest thing about doing YouTube and doing videos and doing Twitch and all that stuff, is honestly networking, making friends, and having fun. And it makes day-to-day a lot. You know what I mean? I had a crappy day-to-day at work, and the last hour we kind of had a meeting, and that was like the best hour of work, because you guys are just talking. I was mute the whole time. I was just listening, and like I had a blast just listening to you guys like talk ideas, crack jokes on each other. And that's really cool about networking and becoming friends with people on YouTube. And then you do get to talk to people about comics and video games and movies and have a blast. So I'll stop talking.
That's the thing is that like when you start to produce more and more content, like people notice. You start to have like a grind and stuff like that. You have a format. You have segments and stuff. And like, I'm really excited to see what Erik does because we're working hard on his channel right now. Like we're producing. Like here's what you need in order to have a YouTube channel. For those of you who are building it now and want to do it, you need really solid YouTube channel art. And that YouTube channel art can then be used across all of your stuff. Like Jake, I think he has, before any of us had this shit, Jake had the most solid channel art and the solid theme. He had a type, like a font face. He had a logo, like that penny, Yeah. That's on a t-shirt right there. Like it's he has all of that stuff set up. So once you have that visual feel, then you can go about saying, okay, well I have this visual feel how I want it to look like, and now what do I want it to sound like? What are the topics and stuff like that? And like Erik is getting pretty good at figuring out what exactly he wants to do with all of his stuff. Like he realized you have 50 fucking pops.
Yeah.
You know how that's 50 videos. If you put out one video per week, that's a year of videos.
Yeah.
You see, like you have to just kind of work shit out in that regard and figure it out in that way. So it's kind of like figuring out, all right, when I close my eyes and I see myself on YouTube, what does that video look like and what does it sound like? And then you just keep building from there. But you have to make sure that you have all the little pieces,
Yep.
I mean, if I can chime in my 2 cents on the whole thing, I probably won't be allowed to, but I'm going to try. I think at the end of the day, I'm going to echo a lot of what the rest of the guys have said. I mean, I think all of us, I think we all bring something very different to the table, and we've all very different personalities. And just as I don't think I would have been able to start my channel because when I met Nick and Jake and Erik, I didn't have a channel. It was actually you guys that taught me into making one. It was actually single-handedly Jake taught me into making a channel.
Oh, you screwed everything up, Jake.
Yep. So this monster that you've created.
Look, I didn't think he would come in with his British charm and his baby angel eyes and his non-moving of a PNG picture and like destroy us all from the inside.
But I couldn't be happier that we've assembled the team we have. I honestly do believe that we have the best team on the internet, and I
didn't say that. Whoa, hey,
I do.
This is coming from remember, this is Owen.
I've
Owen
said
Farrington
this.
said that.
I did. I will be on record saying it. I believe that this is the hardest working and the best team. That's just my opinion. I'm not telling you you have to think that, but that's my opinion, and I couldn't be more proud of everyone.
And Nick, I am not fucking Igor. You son of a
I've sacrificed a lot of sleep to do this. It is 3:30 in the morning.
Frankenstein.
But as far as doing shit on YouTube and making content, I went into it with an idea of the kind of shows I wanted to do, but I'm currently not doing any of those shows right now. I think that this is that overall it's not something you can. Can I talk, please?
Sorry.
That with me, it's been something that if you think of something, just try it out. At the end of the day, if you think of something that you want to do, just have a go. Just hit record, just write some notes, and just have a go at it. If it works, keep at it, and eventually over time it'll get better and better, and you'll get more comfortable with it. And if it doesn't work, then you can tick it off the list and you can try something else.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, you're not in competition with anyone. That's the thing. I know some people like to think of it. You are. Some people like Erik like to think of it as a competition, but Erik could also be seen as the loser of the competition.
Or the winner. I have 13 quality subs.
Yeah, but your loyal subs also sub to me, so I have your 13 quality subs.
Shut up, Owen.
That's going to be a t-shirt as well. But at the end of the day, just if there's something you want to do, just have a go at it. That's all I can say. There's no point just sitting around thinking, oh, I wish I was doing this. Have a go, try it out. And, once you kind of get into the groove and get in the swing about it, start networking, start talking to people. That's what I did. You make contacts, you make friends, and before you know it, it's not just something you want to try out. It's something that you do and you really look forward to doing. I look forward to chatting with these guys and making the content that we do. And, everyone we work with, when we work with Owen, we work with Joel or Scott, or Comic Uno, or any of the guys and girls that we have on the show. It's always a pleasure to work with them. And, it really does feel like a big community. And, at the end of the day, if you want to do it, just do it. That goes for everything except from stealing and shooting. That stuff you can't do. That shit's bad for you. That and heroin.
You can steal theme songs. It's okay.
Which theme song are you stealing, Erik?
These are all the things that Erik reads. Works perfectly.
Okay, so
On that note, Sam, watching this.
damn it, you can't steal Sammy's theme song because I was going to steal Sammy's theme song.
I called it first.
Yeah, but I had a good idea for it.
I wanted to recommend her doing other videos where like her fiance sings like different, like these are all the things that Sammy tolerates, or like these are all the things.
Oh yeah, because musicians could just fucking make songs.
Oh, yeah.
They just make songs like
dude.
nothing.
And that song is so catchy, and like he's adorable. So I think he should do that for her.
I hum that song. It's so catchy. When
Okay,
I pick up-
It is.
Sammy,
It's
if you're
hella
listening
catchy.
to this, I'm ripping you off, no one else.
I hum it
allowed
at
to
the
rip
comic
you off.
book store. It's so damn catchy, that song.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out my video schedule for next week. Let me go check out Benny's channel real quick.
But, I jokingly said I was going to start a review show about books I haven't read, which I might get around to recording an episode of. It's basically just going to be me picking up a random book, flicking through it and going, that looks shit, that looks shit, that looks shit, don't buy that. And the theme song to that was, these are all the books I haven't read. But that doesn't work, so I'm going to keep working on it.
Don't you study English too? Like,
I am severely qualified. And the fact I use the word severely shows how well.
You kind of live in the country that spawned the language, right? So,
yeah, Aram already left, but Dylan's song is pretty catchy too. It's like a.
I find that in my head too much. I've also got to the point where I hear my thoughts in Nick's voice. It's quite disturbing.
That sounds scary.
It is, but it's better than hearing your voice.
That's fucked up on a whole nother level. First, you guys called me dad, like fucking around with me. Like, oh no, dad's listening, we're in trouble. And that fucked with my head. And now you're telling me this bullshit.
Uh-oh,
you know what?
Jasmine,
I can't anymore say "ladies and gentlemen" without adding "and sentient robots." I just can't do it, man.
I drill that shit. You just gotta fucking drill it.
I'm just like, the sentient robots are more important than the boys and girls.
You wait. You just wait, man.
You just wait.
I've seen Terminator a lot of times. I'm ready.
I walked out of Terminator a lot of times.
Get ready for the sequel.
I'll walk out of that one too, don't worry.
So, I mean, if we can get a little bit back on track, though, I
We
mean,
have
like
not been on
everything that
track.
Owen was saying before is totally on point, and it's just, it's just a matter of like working with a good team. But the thing that Owen is doing now, which if you look at the numbers at this point, I don't know, like when people will watch this on YouTube and might be watching it a year later, 2 years later, whatever. But
I might
at this
have had a
point,
nervous
Owen
breakdown
has the
because
most
of change.
subscribers.
Fuck you all.
Not when I unsubscribed from him.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, 'cause
no,
that
but
makes such
so
a
he has the
difference.
most subscribers, but the reason for that is that he has the most consistent schedule.
Yeah.
So it's all about consistency as well.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm at the point now where I'm kind of in the groove. If anything, I feel I was just more lucky than anything that I had too much time on my hands. Whereas you guys all have commitments and jobs. I'm not really doing that much at the moment. I've just kind of got some time to myself.
Constant struggle, man.
Yeah,
Hashtag the struggle.
The struggle's real.
The struggle.
but I'm at the yes, I will appear on my drunk kitchen. Just you wait. Owen Tube, you know what? I like the people in this chat. Longtar, Saul, Nick V. You guys, you're my amigos. You will be an all new, all different Let's
Did you
Chat.
just say amigos?
I said amigos.
He said egos.
No, my ego
Three
has
super egos.
my ego has no room for other people.
Later, Sammy. Be well.
Bye, Sammy.
See you later.
See you, Sammy. Thanks for tolerating us. Like
Thanks
wanting
for
to
stopping
stay-
by.
Oh shit. Lala's here, everyone. We have to get Lala on this show somehow.
Working on it. I feel that if I comment on enough of her videos, she'll subscribe to me.
You can tell
Hasn't? Are
Now-
you sure
And
that
that's
wasn't
when-
part of your subscriber drive today?
Yeah.
I was hoping she'd notice. Thing is, once she subscribes, then I will show my face. Because then I have someone to show my face to.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wait, are we still live?
Yeah, we're still
We're
live.
And on that bombshell, ladies and
We
gentlemen,
just said bye to Sammy right now. How are we not live?
Wow! There's no
I-
fucking bleep or delay.
I don't give a shit anymore,
All
okay?
right, I'm gonna have to make a Hitler joke quick.
No, don't do it.
No.
Son of Abraham, don't do it.
You're,
Oh man,
you're not Johnny Storm. You can't make a Hitler joke.
Oh, leave Fantastic Four out of this. No,
No, Michael
ladies,
B.
ladies and gentlemen of the chat, I'm still making thumbnails for Fantastic Four videos that aren't out yet. I'm
Talk about the struggle.
I'm
You wanna
sick
do-
to death of Fantastic Four.
You want to do YouTube, you have to be prepared to stay up, I swear to God, until 4 o'clock in the morning on the nights that you have off. If you have the nights off, stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning making fucking thumbnails, making fucking text that's size fucking 5, that's still legible at 50%. It's ridiculous the amount of work you have to put in for it. So, like, kudos
I've
to fucking,
been,
to Owen, man. That's a lot of work, dude.
I've been going back through my old videos and updating thumbnails, and I kind of learned a tip or two about how to do them, how you can make them get more attention, and how they can be more eye-catching. So I went back and I kind of changed things, and I've got a kind of consistent kind of theme to them now, which is cool. So that was a couple of days well spent. Maybe.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, probably.
But,
probably in the long haul, man. When somebody does that search, like if you're doing your SEO right and you see that search, bam, like they're gonna be like, oh, I can see the thumbnail. I see exactly what the image is. I can see what it says. It's clear.
If
looks
nothing else,
professional.
it pleases my OCD. So, if nothing else, it pleases my OCD.
Yeah, I guess
So.
so.
But I think we're gonna have to cut this short, guys, because we have things to do later. Which
Yeah,
I
no,
will
thank you very
disclose
much.
what we are
I-
going to do now. For those of you who haven't know, I've started a podcast called The Book Report, which is it's like this. We just talk about shit. That's the best way I can describe it. If you like listening to people talk about shit.
Let me tell you about how much better it is than this show. No, I'm not gonna do that. But definitely go check it out. I'm gonna post a link in the chat right now.
So we've got a couple of episodes of that we need to record over the next couple of weeks. We've got a few more kind of cool guests. And, I think it's really going to be cool. All of these guys are going to show up in some point. We'll try and wean them all in. One of the people will be on tonight for next week's video. Who will it be? Who will it be? Find out probably tomorrow when I tweet about it. So anyway, that'll do it for this installment of Let's Chat Comics. I hope you really enjoyed learning about comics today for the 15 minutes that we did. If nothing else, JLA isn't as good as I've been making it out to be.
No, JLA.
Look, here's the thing about JLA, okay? I don't know, man. I enjoyed
I'm
reading
reading
it, but it's not, I could never recommend it to anybody. It's a cool, like, oh man, this
I'm not
like,
recommending
they're
it, I'm just
punching a
saying I
giant
enjoy it.
monster. Oh, yeah, okay.
It's fun.
Yeah, maybe get a book that fucking you could recommend next time,
I
Mr.
only
Host.
picked up 2 books this week.
I'm sorry, please.
You know what, Nick? You weren't even meant to be on this show.
All right, I see how it is. Good luck on Monday then.
Get the fuck out. You know, fuck you guys. I've outgrown you fuckers.
Yeah.
Aaron Best. Aaron Best. I will be,
Aaron Best, diffuse the situation.
I'll be playing Metal Gear Solid tonight on Twitch. You're all welcome to join.
So it's not Erik.
Huh?
So it won't be Erik on the podcast. Who will it be?
It could be.
Oh.
It may or may not be Jake. It's Jake.
It's Jake.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, I thought it was Easy E. You couldn't get him?
I tried, but he didn't answer my call.
He didn't answer. Yeah, he has this really old voicemail, like those annoying ones where they play the music.
I thought, with straight out of Compton coming out, it'd be really good timing, and we could capitalise on some of that a bit, but bastard never got back to me. And on that bombshell, where can people find you guys, Jake?
You can find me on Twitter at Jacobs_Talkbox. Find me on YouTube, El Cheapo Comics, El Cheapo Games. You can find me on Facebook at El Cheapo Nerd. And you can go to TeePublic and get some fancy new shirts at teepublic.com/user/El Cheapo Nerd. Grab yourself a Tom Hardy for Hardy shirt. It'll make you cool at parties, and officers won't give you tickets.
Yep, that's true.
Unicorns will run free in the streets when you buy one. So, yeah.
And you get cookies with it.
Oh, yeah, you do. You do.
T-shirt and cookies. How much was this shirt again?
If you get the money there, I think they go $20 on TeePublic now. But if you're a cheapskate like me, and I'm the one who made the shirt, and I had to wait for the flash sale, there's usually a flash sale once a month, it knocks those bad boys down to $14. And I honestly, if you do buy a shirt, I'm honestly just going to use the money to just get more comic books to do shows like this and talk to you guys about comic books and stuff. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely go check them out. I'm sure if you're watching this on YouTube, links will be in the description. If you're watching this live, links will be floating around the stratosphere. Erik.
Yes.
Erik. Where can people find you?
At Baron Von Comics on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch. And buy shirts from Jake. Until I get my own store, then buy shirts from me.
Fuck Jake shirt.
Oh.
If I go.
He's
So the
tired
next
and bitter. We need to end the broadcast soon. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning over there.
For Nick.
He's got more work to do too. Oh,
So anyway, yeah, you can find me on Twitter and YouTube, just at Owen Likes Comics. New videos every Tuesday, and a new episode of my podcast, The Book Report, every Thursday. You can find the latest edition right now with Scott from NerdSync. So I want to thank my guests, Jake and Erik, for joining me tonight, and to everyone watching the show. We'll be back on Monday for Let's Chat Movies, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv, GOLDMANvision. Same bat time, same bat channel. Good night, everyone.